Welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen. We are live here on a Tuesday. Totem Pole Nation checking in 7:30 here on the East Coast, the Beast Coast. What's going on,
Mm-hmm.
Coach? How you doing this morning?
Hey, doing great, man. Glad you're back. We're talking about going to Charlotte, meeting up with Coach McNally and all those coaches, and talk to you about how the Legends luncheon went. So, how did the Legends luncheon go with the former professional wrestlers?
Yeah, man. Everything went good, man. It's just a big brotherhood with those guys. Those guys traveled on the road and everything, and it's cool that they can get together every couple of months and just share their stories. Take pictures and everything, and you know, uh, just a good thing, man. They take donations to pretty much. Those guys were never had insurance. You know what I mean? So the injuries that they had to face, everything comes out of pocket. So just to go there and support those guys and to see them up live in person is a good thing. A couple guys, Mike Sullivan and Joe Pilardi, both of those guys got inducted. And we're talking about a plaque that's got the who's who of wrestling. Dusty Rhodes, you name it, man. It's on there. And last night we had a wrestler pass away, the great Ole Anderson of Team
Mm.
Andersons, and everybody knows
The Minnesota Wrecking Crew.
Yep, he was one of the original member of course.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yep, he passed away. I think 82 years old. Yeah, man, that's the thing about those guys. Is they lived really hard lives. They kind of burned the candle on both ends, and that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people burn the candle on both ends. You gotta get something to keep you awake. Like your cup of Joe, and then people take stuff to put them to sleep and stuff like that. But those guys, they took it to a whole nother level there.
Hey, Elizabeth. Coach
Elizabeth.
Ball, can you see the comments?
Hmm. I can see them. Yep.
Yeah, right on.
But yeah, man. So yeah, it was a good time, man. Good time. Always good time.
So we got back from Charlotte. We saw Coach McNally. He cussed me out probably at least 5 times. Yelled at me, told me I was full of crap. Uh, but some people call that tough love. I just call it love. I don't differentiate between the two because some people need to be yelled out and cussed out. And if he didn't care about me, he wouldn't say anything. How does that make you feel, Coach?
Hey, man, that's exactly right. Everybody's different. I do that at Lakewood. There were certain guys that were so hard on themselves. They were their biggest critic. They were their biggest critic. And some of those guys, you would go up to and you light them up and they would just completely shut down.
Mm.
They, it was game over for those guys. Other guys won't get mentally prepared or fire in their belly until a coach gets on them and yells at them. So that's what a good coach does, man. He figures out what buttons he's got to press to get his players dialed in. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, that is what it is, man. My favorite coaches were always the ones that kind of barked at me. It always let me know they were paying attention and stuff like that. When we'd watch the film and you'd think you're going to show up to film and you had a great game, and then all you're watching is every single play where you didn't play well. Put you on the microscope. It makes you want to raise your game. And I did the same thing, man. When I was at Lakewood, I had to freaking grab the screen and dial real close to see. Well, Isaiah Wynn took one bad step on this play, as where other guys are just completely missing their blocks. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, you show that you're watching and stuff like that. And yeah, man, I always love my coaches barking at me. These days, some people don't agree to that and stuff like that. And I don't know, man. It just to me, there's different ways of doing different things. You know what I mean? Every coach is has his own style and everything. When you was over there at Meadowbrook, you had Jimmy the Legend. Kind of show you the path, and you would see guys never been yelled at before get yelled at for the first time with him. And man, it would light them up, man. They'd never seen anything or heard anything like that, man. God bless Jimmy the Legend, right?
Yeah, man. The GOAT.
Let me
How, huh, huh,
did you see and what are your thoughts on what happened with Cam Newton at the 7-on-7 clinic?
dude, that's the problem with 7-on-7s. And that's why I don't like doing 7-on-7s with people I don't know. Because anybody that's playing 7-on-7 to try to win a trophy, a plastic trophy that no one will even remember, it has no significance. Like, are they doing it for the right reasons? And Cam Newton, like, how could you disrespect him? Like, that man won a national championship, went to the Super Bowl. I mean, he's a good dude, man. He has a great podcast, but he is not small. I saw him play live at FedEx Field. When he walked on that field, like, he's a big human. And that was pretty obvious when those three guys tried to fight him. Like, he took one guy and threw him off the stage, and then he took another dude, and I mean, he really didn't even punch him. He just defended himself. But that's a punk move, man. Three guys had to fight one dude. Like, if me and my buddy, or if me and my buddy's fighting the guy one-on-one, and then two other guys jump in, that's a punk move, man. And these guys are, I heard them talking on a radio station, and this woman's talking about they're pouring into kids. Yeah, but you know what, dude? Whatever you're, I wrote it down over here. Whatever you're listening to, watching, reading, or doing, you're learning and you're teaching somebody else. So we ain't perfect. Ain't none of us perfect. Ain't none of us can follow the good book 100% of the time. But like, just to disrespect the guy who is going out of his way to, he ain't got to do a 7-on-7 tournament. He ain't making no money off that. Like, it's kind of disappointing, man. But you know, Shannon Sharp was all fired up about it. But yeah, so how do you feel?
Yeah, man. I mean, like that's the thing about Cam Newton. You got to respect the man. Like I saw. They said that the year he won the national championship, he had one guy on the offensive line that played one down, at least one down in the NFL. No receiver, running back, tight end, anybody skill set has had one reception or one rush off of that team. Basically, that man was a one man gang, you know? And I totally agree, man. I've seen the guy in person several times. Tampa Bay and Carolina play once a year in Tampa. Season ticket holder. That dude is a unit. He could play defensive end. He could play tight end. The guy is huge. And yeah, man, it is. It's just extremely disappointing. It's disrespectful. And yeah, I think he handled himself very well. He is a big dude, and he was just stiff arming cats like Derrick Henry.
Ooh, I mean, he was stiff arming dudes like Cam Newton. I mean, hey, All Star, what's up, man? Good to see you, brother. Uh, dude, Cam Newton changed the game.
He did.
He, I mean, nobody ran that power read, that front side power read with the dude going across and the quarterback going downhill right at you right now. Other than if they had a running back in there in a wildcat formation, Darren McFadden, like that was his play. I called it the Cam Newton play. And dude, everybody that I heard talk about Cam Newton, all of his teammates loved him. The fans on the other teams didn't love him.
Yep.
But I mean, everybody, there's got to be a heel. There's got to be a bad guy, and he was the bad guy. I mean, because his dad got that bag. His dad got that bag. I mean, his dad did what people are doing now. Dude, College coaches, this is what they ask. How are you doing? No, but how are you doing? No, really, but how are you doing? They just keep asking kids how they're doing. And eventually kids will say, well, I failed this test, or, I just got in trouble. Like, they keep asking because they want to know something bad. I tell the kid, every time they ask you how you're doing, say, great, how are you doing? And then when they say, well, great, how are you doing? You just keep asking them how you're doing. Like, it ain't no hustling nobody. You're hustling yourself. And these guys were on the radio talking about they're sorry, and I would rather see a sermon than hear one any day, man. Like,
Let me ask you this, Coach. Will high school athletes need agents here in the future?
will they need them?
Yes.
They already have them. There's already all these people that are NIL, whatever. They don't call them agents. Dude, I wouldn't have anybody that would represent me that doesn't have a law degree. We're dealing with contracts, man. We're dealing with wording and, in perpetuity, which means until the end of eternity, man. Like, this is a hustling business. There's not a lot of high school kids who a company is going to pay for their name, image, and likeness. MK made my day.
Ow.
And I told those people, Coach Bald, at Spread Shop, they need to make that logo bigger. Is that logo printed on, or is it sewed on?
I need a better hat, man. What's up with this?
I know. I told them that. I said, dude, why is the logo so small? I'm going to tell them to send us another one.
Yeah,
They changed it on the site, though, dude. They made the logo bigger.
I've not complained.
Yeah. We're the low man on the totem pole. That thing is about the size of a $50.
You know what'll happen if I complain, Coach? I'll get a hat and it'll look like a bee sting. That's all it'll even be smaller.
It'll look like an upside down totem pole. Maybe that's what we need to do, is make an upside down totem pole hat.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
MK, good to see you today. I've been on this Bob Marley kick, watching Bob, watching interviews of him. Let me just, I don't even know if I want to play this guy talking right here, man. Listen to what this dude says. They ask him, they asked Bob. This is in 1975. It's a 30-minute interview that they did with some Black history students at UCLA. And the guy asked him, where does the reggae beat come from? I wonder where it comes from. Well, where did the Jamaican people from? Here we go. Look at this. That's what he said.
Yeah. The reggae beat originally come from the Africans. We saw the African music and the Africans scattered abroad. So it comes as a kind of rebellion against just playing music for just gaiety and just.
All right, I probably need to stop playing that, okay? Because we're going to get a copyright violation, because I got some Bob Marley in the background there. But he says that their music is about reality. Their music speaks directly to the people. He says that he says in 1975, there is a fantasy world. Wow. Dude, if you're still alive, the fantasy world has gotten bigger and bigger. Now, we don't even know what's real and what's fake. You get on TikTok and live behind a filter. Call yourself the blonde queen or the scorpion, but the dude says the bigger you get in the fantasy world, the further you go into the fantasy world. So when you make music about fantasy, or you're a 7-on-7 coach and you win trophies in the fantasy world, in order to become bigger in the fantasy world, you must go further into the fantasy world. Man, that's deep. This is real. This is real. We don't care if we got 1 people, 2 people, 300 people on here. We're not doing it for the views. We're not doing it for the money. We're doing it for the love.
Let me ask you this, Coach. Did you see in the this weekend? I believe it was Duke Wake Forest. When Wake Forest won the game, the fans ran out on the court and they bumped into the Duke center, the big 6'11" Duke. Did you see? Did you see that? And what are your thoughts on that?
My thought is this: D. Williams, you're the best, brother. You are the best.
Thank you, D.
God bless you, man. I
Thank
missed
you.
you, man. I need to bring you back on the podcast. Find out how you're doing. All right, hit me up, man. Dude, here's what I think. When I was a kid and I used to say something that I shouldn't say, my dad said, then stop. I had somebody like Jim McNally, my dad, that would tell me to shut up or cuss me out or hit me. And I'm not saying that's the right way to be, but people that talk a lot, that will get you into a lot of fights. And eventually, you either fight back or you get beat up. And some of these kids today, some of these people, like Mike Tyson says, some of them have never been punched in the face. So they think they can do certain things, say certain things to Cam Newton, who's 6'5", 250 pounds, or run on the court and do certain things. Some people don't grow up like that, man. Most people don't grow up where it's easy and they don't have to fight. And then the people who have to fight, they get looked down upon by the people that don't have to fight because they don't understand what it feels like to be the rule and not the ruler. They don't understand what it feels like to be the low man on the totem pole. When you're up here, you ain't got to fight. You got people to fight for you. But when you're the low man, you got to fight. So when you run up on somebody and do something disrespectful or put your hands on them, I mean, in this country, we have the right to defend ourselves until the government takes it away. But we live in the greatest country in the world. Just ask someone who ain't from here or don't live here. They want to come here. And coach, the reason this is the greatest country in the world is not because of the government. It's not because of the rulers. It's because of the people. And in politics today, there's a big debate about immigration. Well, if you check my DNA, you check your DNA, your blood, most people's blood, they didn't come from here. They came here somehow. My ancestors, they put them on a coal mine. They paid them in the company's money that they could only use at the company store and live in a house that was owned by the company. I owe my soul to the company store. I owe my soul to Discover Card. What's different? Some people had worse situations. Some people had better. But what has really changed? Unless you're a Native American, you're not from here. You're not from St. Petersburg, Florida. You're not from Virginia Beach. The people or Virginia, the people that actually lived here, they understood that this land wasn't theirs. It was man that came here and put boxes and made Florida into what it looked like and made Virginia into a triangle. It was man. And if this country would spend $6 trillion a year, if they really wanted to stop people from coming here, they could do it. See, but one side's telling us that immigration is good. One side's telling us immigration's bad. But both sides want them here. Because I'll tell you why, coach. After a few generations, we become Americanized. I can't get kids to look up from their phone. They don't want to work. But guess what? Go to the Jeff Davis indoor flea market. You'll see some people that want to work. you'll see some people that want to get it. They want them here. John D. Rockefeller said he didn't want a school of thinkers. He wanted a school of workers. That's what they want. They want workers. Don't let them fool you, coach. They want workers here. Somebody's got to work for the rich. Wow.
Man, let me ask you this, Coach. I don't know if you heard, but I believe they just completely canceled the election in for 2024 in Ukraine. Okay,
Okay.
you know who runs?
MK, shout out. MK, I didn't see it, the totem pole, but I'll check it out. You're the best.
You
Yeah.
know who runs Ukraine? Correct.
A guy
Right,
with a
dude.
t-shirt. A guy
I
that wears a
saw
t-shirt.
I saw a video the other day where this guy's being interviewed by an American journalist, and brother, this guy's itching his nose. His eyes are all the eyes never lie, bro. This dude is snorting taxpayers' money, dude. It's brutal. I'll have to send you the video clip. You can see for yourself. This dude
Yeah.
looks like Tony Montana during the interview. His
Yeah.
eyes are wired. It's disgusting, man.
Dude,
And
look, I just listened to Bob Marley talk about this in 1980.
hey,
I
man,
mean, he said, dude, they divided and conquered Jamaica. They divided and conquered a people, basically between the communists and the capitalists. And one's the Labor Party, one's the People Party. Like, what does that even mean? Like, one's funded by the Soviet Union, the other one's funded by America. And Bob Marley, dude, he said, there's no difference. He was like, they're all friends. Dude, I was like, wow. He said they're all friends. It's divide and conquer, man. I mean, if all their money is controlled by BlackRock, then they're all getting paid by the same team, man. And we are the rule. They are the ruler. See, I don't know if this country has ever been ruled by the people. I think we were told that the people ruled, but nah. One day the rule will rise up against the ruler. Maybe the low man on the totem pole will rise. Dude, I listened to Jai Rastafari, man. I mean, dude, these guys we want to talk about rebels, revolutionaries? Like the stuff they're talking about, like all governments are illegal. All governments are illegal. Hey, when did you ever hear this, coach? Hey, do you have anything on you? Hey, do you have anything on you? Which means I think you got something on you. And he said, no, Mr. Cop, I ain't got no birth certificates on me now. Wow. Dude, do you remember when they called it the graveyard shift? What do they call it now? Kids don't even know what it's called. They called it the graveyard shift for a reason. Because it puts you in the grave. Human beings aren't supposed to stay up all night. And no, we were told we need to work for 8 hours. So then another person can work 8 hours. And then another person can work 8 hours. I think originally, what was it, like 3 to 11? You had 3 to 11 was a shift. And then I guess you had 11 to 7. Yeah. It works out perfectly for them to make money all the time. Why should I only make money 8 hours when I can make money 24 hours? Eventually, the rule will rise up against the ruler.
hey, man, I tell you another thing I saw that was pretty good was there's this real shit show called The View. I don't know if you ever heard of The View.
Yeah, I mean, I know The View. They're women. They're women. They're Whoopi Goldberg.
Right.
They have their opinions, but I mean, dude, there ain't no difference between. Is it their opinion, or do they get paid to give someone else's opinion? See, I can differentiate between the two because I know pro wrestling.
But they had Dr. Phil on there.
Okay.
And
he's a fraud.
He basically, just let them know that, COVID was kind of just the worst thing that they could possibly do. I mean,
but I mean, what does that mean? It's the worst thing you could possibly do.
This is what he said. He said, when they shut it down, they stopped mandating reporters from being able to see children that were abused and sexually molested. And in fact, sent them home and abandoned them to their abusers. They suffered and will suffer more from mismanagement of COVID than they will from the exposure of COVID. And that's not an opinion. That's fact.
Well, that's anybody. I mean, that's anybody that has a bad situation at home, and the only way they can escape is go to school or go to work. That could be for a woman who's suffering abuse or a man who's suffering abuse or a kid. So, yeah, sure, I agree. When the government tells you that, but I mean, dude, this is not new. This is not new. Like, I used to think that the Crusades, they went over there to fight the Holy Wars, that someone figured out that they could make money off of the stuff they brought back. And I just realized, nah, dude, they knew before they fought that junk that they was going to bring people over there. Some of them was going to come back. Some of them won't. They were going to bring back stuff. Oh, roses. They're going to bring roses is one of the things they brought back. Silk is another one. And people wanted it. So they knew they could make money. That's how they got rich off the Renaissance. So I mean that's how they got rich for the Renaissance, is because of. But they also brought back the bubonic plague. Yeah, World War I. Guess what they brought back to America? The flu. We didn't have the flu before World War I. Like, dude, this has been going on for a long time, man. It's been going on since Babylon, and eventually the rule will rise up against the ruler. And who's good and who's bad? I guess it's on what side you're on. Or, I mean, dude, just TikTok. You can buy someone roses that ain't even roses. I mean, even buying roses for somebody that's only going to last for a day and they're going to die. Like, you can buy the galaxy. You know what they're telling people? You can buy love. You could buy friendship. It's a dating app, dude. It's a dating app where you swipe right and, oh, the girl likes me. But then she don't message you back. So there's a letdown. TikTok, there ain't no letdown because they're just creating the illusion. Remember Chris Rock's song, There's No What in the Champagne Room? Hooters, the family restaurant, they create an illusion. Dude, if they make you look better because of a filter, does that help you or does that help them?
Yep.
You give somebody $10 in roses, they get $5. Then the federal government gets 20, 30%. So what does the person you're giving the gift to, the gift that ain't even a gift? Dude, they have convinced us that what is fake is real and what is real is fake. You can buy the galaxy? You can't buy a galaxy. The galaxy ain't yours to buy.
Not for sale.
Yeah. Bob Marley said that all governments are illegal. By whose law?
Teaching in class today, Coach. What's your subject going on?
I'm still on foreign policy. But dude, these kids haven't learned anything in school. You know what they've learned? They've learned that what they need to learn is boring and they don't like it. Or something that's in a book that is real is fake. What? That came from that book? That can't be real. And that's people like Joe Rogan. People like Joe Rogan.
How about Jackson? What is he learning in school?
Whatever the government tells the teacher to teach, or whatever the teacher feels like it. I teach my son myself. I don't expect the schools to teach him about life because that's what's important. I told him on Sunday, we're going to church. We're going to go watch the Bob Marley movie. That movie can teach you more than any pastor could ever talk for an hour or 2 hours. Because that dude believed that his life had meaning. His wife told him that I'm looking for a man with ambition and whose life they want to have meaning. That ain't what TikTok teaches. That ain't what Bumble teaches. Dude, if you have ambition and you want your life to have meaning, you better surround yourself with people that have ambition and they want their life to have meaning. You know, that was the best thing you ever did was when you met that young lady who is your wife. That changed your life, dude. You know, that sets you on a different course, a different path. Like me, my path was changed when I became a coach. But I thought this, Coach Bald, I thought that if I helped other people, that I would help myself. That's really selfish when you say you're going to help other people to help yourself, because that's ambition. That's for your personal gain. You know, that if I help people, I'll win games, or if I help people, I'll win championships. Dude, that's all in man's eyes. That's a plastic trophy like that 7-on-7 that never lasts. But when you help somebody, that lives forever, man. What is it Maya Angelou said? They won't remember MK, D. Williams, All-Star. They won't remember what you say. They will remember how you made them feel. Coach Bald, tell them what you think.
And I mean, you know, that's why I'm a big believer in get your physicality, you get your workouts in, you get in shape. Guess what else gets in shape? Right up here. Your mind gets in shape. You get your body in shape, you get your mind in shape. You'll never
Does
see
it start with the body first or the mind first, though?
Say that again.
If you really determine that you want to get in shape or lose weight or get healthy, does it start with the mind or does it start with the body?
I promise if you work the body, the mind's going to go. I promise.
It's discipline.
You'll never see a guy that's jacked, that's depressed, that's upset. You might see him.
Unless they cheat. Unless they cheat.
What's that?
Unless they cheat.
Correct. Correct.
If they cheat, if they take the shortcuts, it doesn't matter how much they try to fill that hole or that void. They're never going to. Dude, there's something about sacrifice and suffering. Yeah, you're right, dude. That hard work, that dedication, that work.
Yep. Yep, without a doubt. And I think that's the same thing, like on the same spectrum of what you're talking about. If you help somebody, help them because you want to, not because you're getting some generic kickback or something like that. You help them because you want to. And guess what? It will come back to you. It always does. It always does. That's just how the world works. It always does. It'll always come back to you. You help somebody, it's going to help you. You know, that's just how it works. You shouldn't look at it like, what am I going to get back for doing this? No, just do it.
Man.
Don't waste your time or their time. That's all we got in this. That's all we got on this planet. We got one shot, and that's all we got. We got a little bit of time left. Stop wasting it. Stop wasting it on people that aren't invested in it, that don't need it. You know what I mean? And hey, man, everybody's hurting out there. Everybody's struggling out there. You know, when you do get frustrated, just promise me this and that you won't do this. Don't say something that you can't take back. Okay. Sometimes it's just easier to just be quiet, keep your thoughts to yourself. If you have something really negative to say to a person that you really care about, keep it to yourself. Don't say something that you can't take back, because that's what tears up relationships, breaks hearts, and ruins families.
No doubt, man. We are the low man on the totem pole, man. See, that's us right there.
Tuesday, Coach, I'm going to check you out. I got a lot going on today. I know you do.
Brother.
Well,
yeah, so send us off. Say thank you to our sponsors.
Yeah,
our
man.
sponsor.
I'm headed there right now, so I'm not going to say thank I'm going to get to work. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit this exit button. Guys, we'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, 7:30 a.m. See you guys.
Peace.